Hans Wormhat. In this video, I'm going to take a look at a modern, very high quality, heavily produced footage of a koala, and I will show you that it's nothing but CGI. But first, I just want to briefly talk about why I love this topic so much, and it's a hard one for people to accept, even when it's right in front of their face. You can go look at the Australian wildfire photos, how they have dozens and dozens of stories about these stuffed animals, and the images that they use are so over the top, obvious fake images that you should just start there, I guess, if you don't believe that people would fake this kind of thing. But today I'm going to look at a very high quality CGI film. But anyways, I love this topic because it shows you just the insane level that these people go to lie about everyday things, and how they want you believing in fantasy, and how we already live in Fantasyland. And the koala is another obvious one that's pushed on children. Just anything that gets heavily pushed on children is highly suspicious, because they're just brainwashing you. The only reason people believe in koalas is because they've seen a million depictions of koalas in cartoons, and just notice how it's mostly children's stuff. It reminds me of dinosaurs, outer space land, fake ancient Egypt. They have to brainwash children with this stuff. And I'm going to just tell my childhood story here, because I'll never tire of telling this story. At the local zoo when I grew up, they allegedly had a koala, and it was kept in this tiny little closet. And I remember as a child, that thing never moved, not once. It was just a stuffed animal put up there, and they tell you all sorts of stories, all sorts of fantastical stories. This is not, it's mythological. Think of like a squirrel, and how many interesting, crazy facts you can come up with for a squirrel. You can't really, because a squirrel makes sense, and the things about a squirrel are squirrel-like, and they make sense. And as a biological entity, it's, you might say boring, but not really. It's just that it makes sense as what it is. So we don't have a million interesting facts about squirrels. All their fake animals, though, you could write novels about all the interesting facts. They are taking the piss with a lot of this stuff. They, do you know what I'm talking about with the koala? How many things about koalas there are? And then we get the over-the-top things like drop bears. Okay, it's all a joke about how koalas are mythological in nature. They aren't real. Sleep for 23 hours. They eat poison. There's all sorts of things that they tell us about the koalas. They have the smallest brain. It's like a smooth brain. And I think that they're making fun of people. You're smooth brained if you don't catch on to the joke that koalas are not real. Now, let's get into it. That's my overview. Baby koalas are called joeys. Look here, they love talking about this. A koala joey is the size of a jelly bean. Jelly beans is 33 in Pythagorean, and also koala joeys is 33 in Pythagorean. Let's start the video. I'll probably pause it and just tell you about the things that I think, and then I took some still frames too. But notice how frequently the camera cuts, the cinematic cuts, the watch, the prominence of the watch. That is really awkward to me, because, so I'm just going to start it over, because the way that this person picks up the koala is so awkward. And in Hollywood, they show us what they do. This person is probably interacting with, I think they use like the color blue for this type of thing most often, like a blue fake stuffed animal. And then they come in and they CGI in the koala later. And they have all sorts of movies out there. Life of Pi is a perfect example of, they CGI in a tiger next to a human actor. That's all this is. This is an actor. And it is an actor, if you know what I mean. So awkward. And the lighting is so off. The koala is very sharp. This was another super awkward. That looks very awkward. But like I said, very high quality, right? It looks like something out of Hollywood with professionals working on this. all the cinematic cuts. I'll just pause here to say, though, what a lively koala. Usually the koalas don't do anything. They're sitting up in a tree motionless because it's nothing but an animatronic placed up in a tree. And they have these mobile animatronics. You can pay a fee at certain zoos and get to hold a koala and play with the koala. Go watch those videos. It looks like a really heavy, awkward animatronic that is just clings to people. But it's not interacting like this. This is 100% CGI koala. They don't let you do that with the one at the zoo. Okay, what do you think about that? Now, what I'm going to show you here is, okay, already look at that hand. Look how awkward the hand on the left looks. And look at the hand on the right. It's doing a hand sign. It's doing a 666 hand sign. But more importantly, just look at how awkwardly the left hand will hover above the actor's hand, and it's like a layer in Photoshop or something. You can just tell. Your eyes can tell when something's not real life. And I think that this is really obvious. I slowed it down really slow. I thought that this was super obvious. And that hand sign on the right is 666. Okay, let's play that again. Just look at... Do you see what I mean about that left hand floating like a layer in Photoshop over the hand? I'm going to play it a few more times. See what I mean about the left koala hand? Just looks like a layer in Photoshop. It doesn't look like real life. Okay, and I'm going to end by just looking at some still frames. So yeah, look at that. They made sure to get the koala doing a 666 hand sign. If you go look at images of koalas online, usually their hands are just totally flat and not gripping anything. They have these strange pancake hands. It'll be like a flat pancake hand on top of a tree or something. But this is high quality CGI. They probably have a 3D model and have the ability to move the fingers and things. I guess I'll talk now about... There's a really... If this high quality CGI is hard for you to spot with your eyes, there's this viral koala video out there of koalas fighting and they're like in front of a tree or something. That one is so obviously CGI. It's like bad quality. So maybe start with the easy ones, I guess. Really, you can just go find so many obviously plushy koalas though. Yeah, just look how awkward that claw looks. The bright white. The fur is too sharp. Here, what I put here is it looked like the perspective got like really off on this. Like the head became way too small. Just the koala looks like it's a little bit too small in the rendering here. Like the head especially. Here was the frontal shot. Just notice how the fur is really sharp in certain places, but then blurry in other places. The thing about the really nice CGI, it's like when you take a still frame, it looks like a computer graphic. It doesn't look like real life, like the actor. The actor looks natural, the lighting looks natural, the koala just looks like CGI. What's up with the bright white? But then the actor doesn't have any like lighting over on that side. But then this is supposed to be white, like pure white on... and very smudgy. So it's CGI. Why is the fur super sharp over here, but then super smudgy in the crotch region? Because you're looking at a CGI koala. This looked super awkward. Like, what's going on here? What is this? Do you see the sharp outline of the nose and then the blurred background? And it's just a CGI rendering of a koala. And then look how sharp this is down here. And it looks like a texture, not like real life. It looks like a computer graphic, a texture applied to a 3D skeleton. It just doesn't look like real life. The lighting just is so off all the time. Just look how natural the lighting on the actor looks. and how unnatural everything there looks. So anyways, when you pause it and start freeze framing, things start looking really off. Really, really off. Just a disconnect in the lighting. And again, something about how sharp it is down here versus how weird and fuzzy and faded it is up here. It's just not real life. You're looking at computer graphics. Have you ever taken, think of back in the day when everybody used those clicky cameras, the real film footage. Could you ever imagine taking a film photograph and it looking like this? Like, what is this? It's just so obviously digitally enhanced. Whereas this looks more natural. And then you get down to computer land. But it looks good, very high quality. But that's why I wanted to do this video, because a lot of times I kind of focus on the really obvious bad ones. And look at this too, King G, G-E-E, but G, like masonry, the letter G, really big. And there was a lot of subtle hand signs going on, the pointing. I showed the koala doing the 666, that kind of thing. But it's CGI. That's why it's all blurry next to the person's hand, and then super sharp over on the knees and stuff. Hope you enjoyed the video. God bless everyone.